A strong star has pierced the mists that covered Collinwood. Vague outlines appear, elusive now, but soon they will reveal themselves for what they are. But the mists within the mind, and the mists that have protected the present from the past, are lifting too. And what there is to be seen will be witnessed by no strong star, but by something as frail and frightened as the human mind.
What's happened?
Don't speak. She's gone into the trance.
Oh, we've got to stop this.
No sound. Anybody.
Who are you?
This is not something to play with.
I'm not playing. There's obviously something there.
Can you say something? Who are you?
She's trying to say something.
Yes. Who are you?
Yes, go on.
I don't like this.
Quiet. Now try to tell us who you are.
I must run. What did you say?
Something about run.
Who are you? What is your name?
Run. Please. Faster. I must run. Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Faster. I've got to run faster. I've got to
Why
get away.
are you running?
Faster. I can feel the stones beneath my feet. They hurt me. Why am I so cold? The rain, it stings my face.
She's going through some kind of experience.
Something that happened to her when she was a child.
No, not her own experience. Someone else's.
Can you tell us who you are?
The roaring, it's getting closer and closer. I mustn't stumble. I mustn't fall. He's getting closer.
Someone is chasing her.
I have nowhere to go. Nowhere. The roaring is getting louder.
What is the roaring sound?
He's getting closer.
Who is chasing you?
My dress, I've torn my dress. He mustn't catch me.
Who mustn't catch you?
This is cruel. Vicky is obviously in pain.
She feels nothing. Only the person who's speaking through her.
That's not the way I see it.
Leave her alone. I want to find out what this is.
I don't care what it is.
Somebody please help me. He mustn't catch me. The cliffs. I must get to the cliffs.
Cliffs? Does that mean the cliffs near here?
You'll find out in a minute.
Why do you want to go to the cliffs?
He mustn't catch me. The sea. I can hear the waves. The cliffs are my only escape.
Oh, no.
Don't talk.
I think I know what's happening.
She's the one who has to tell us.
Perhaps we've gone too far.
No, let her finish.
He's getting closer.
Who is getting closer? Can you tell us his name?
I've got to jump.
She's Josette.
Josette?
No. Stay away from me. Please stay away. No!
Vicky!
What happened? I couldn't let her go on. Why not? Well, if Elizabeth was right, if that was Josette, she was recreating her death.
But she was about to tell us the name of the person who was chasing her.
I couldn't let her go through that death again.
Vicky. Vicky, you all right?
You shouldn't have stopped her. It was the only way I could save her.
Vicky, are you sure you're all right?
Of course I am. What happened?
Josette was here. Again.
Josette.
I think it's an incident best forgotten.
Do you mean she spoke through me, like last time?
It seems that she was reliving the experience just before her death.
The last time there was something very specific Josette wanted to tell us. I wonder if there's something she was trying to tell us this time, too.
Obviously not. She was merely experiencing a pain that troubled her.
Do you mean that I was reliving the night when she threw herself off the cliffs?
Somebody was chasing you. That's why you jumped.
Somebody chasing me? Who?
You never said.
Well, perhaps that's what Josette was trying to tell us, the name of the person who was chasing her.
No one ever found out.
But we were about to.
Well, it makes no difference. Whoever it was is now long gone, dead these many years. And I hardly think it humane that we should put Miss Winters or the spirit of Josette through so much torment. Merely to discover the name of a man who's been in his grave almost 200 years.
You're obviously right.
Maybe that's not the reason Josette wanted us to know.
The last time someone was in danger. David, remember? But no one's in danger now.
How do we know?
Oh, Carolyn, please, you're letting your imagination run away with you.
Your mother's right. Why create a fear when none exists?
Who could be in danger? None of us? Unless...
Unless what?
Well, what I'm thinking about has nothing to do with Josette, but... Well, we haven't forgotten what happened to Maggie Evans, have we?
Maggie?
The person who killed Maggie could still be somewhere around.
But as you say, there's no connection between that and our ancestor Josette.
You're right. That's why I don't really think that she could have been warning us about anything.
This whole thing should never have happened.
I'm beginning to feel it now.
What is it?
I feel as if I'd been running as fast as I could, as far as I could.
I'd better take you home.
Oh, no. I'm all right. I'm just a little bit tired. But I don't want to go.
No,
Not yet.
you mustn't. Have some more wine.
No, I would really just like some fresh air.
Good idea. Come on.
No, you stay here. I'm just going to go outside for a minute.
Well, come, everyone. Please have some more wine. We mustn't forget that this is a party.
Little girl.
Vicky. Vicky, what is it?
I saw a little girl.
What are you talking about?
A little girl standing on the top step.
It's too dark up there to see anything.
A little girl?
Yes, I saw a little girl standing there at the top of the stairs.
Who's there? Is there anyone there?
There couldn't possibly be. It's only Vicky's imagination.
You're probably right. I guess I am tired.
What did she look like?
She looked like a shadow. That's all she was.
I'm not so sure. Do you know what she made me think of?
What?
Yes, of course.
What did she make you think of?
Do you remember that dress, that little girl's dress that we found in the trunk with the other old clothes?
Yes.
Well, from the little that I could see, she seemed to be wearing that dress.
I still say it was wrong, going to the party wearing these clothes.
Well, I found it all very interesting for a change.
Only I do wish Barnabas hadn't stopped the seance.
Seances, ghosts. It's all wrong.
Oh, come now, Liz. You found it anything but wrong. If anything, you found it real. That's why you're objecting so strongly.
It's wrong to tamper with the past that way.
I think it lends excitement to the present, an ingredient it badly needs.
How are you feeling now, Vicky? Better?
I wish the party hadn't ended so soon.
Oh, I should think you'd be happy that it's all over.
Strangely enough, I'm not.
Well, of course you aren't. You had more fun than anybody.
How can you call it fun?
Well, that's what it was. Oh, Liz, you surprised me. You take it so seriously.
You took the seance seriously.
Well, I believed it, but that doesn't mean I take it seriously. I believe a lot of things, but that doesn't prevent me from being amused by them.
Well, it was hardly amusing.
We really shouldn't have left.
How can you say that? Even poor Barnabas was upset by what happened.
All the more reason that we should have stayed.
What do you mean?
We shouldn't have left him alone when he was in a mood like that.
He tried so hard to give us a wonderful party. And look what happened.
And it was a wonderful party. And now to bed, with dreams of lovely ladies jumping off cliffs and all sort of ancestral exercises.
Don't make fun of other people's suffering.
Oh, nonsense, Liz. What is the value of suffering if it isn't to be enjoyed?
Enjoy your own, then, not other people's.
I think that all of the unhappiness of all of my ancestors is my rightful heritage, and you shouldn't try to keep it from me. Good night, ladies.
We should probably all go to bed. It's been a very difficult evening.
I wish we could have done something for Barnabas before we left.
I'll give him our apologies tomorrow. And I think we should all get to bed. Aren't you going?
Not just yet.
I'm not tired. I suppose I should be, but I'm just not.
Well, don't stay up too late. And Vicky, try not to be too upset by what happened. I mean the seance.
I'm not upset.
But you are.
Honestly.
You are, I can tell by looking at you.
I just can't stop thinking about the look on Barnabas's face when we left. So sad, so lonely.
Well, don't brood about it too much.
I won't. I just want to sit here for a little longer.
Good night.
Good night, Mother. Vicky. Did you really see a little girl at the top of the stairs?
I don't know. I guess not.
I had to stop them. I had to send you away again because you are truly gone, as the past is gone. I must live in the present. And if I'm to have you at last, you must be someone from the present. So go away and never come back. Any of you.
I just wanted you to know that it didn't bother me at all.
What?
Weren't you listening?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
You at the party with Burke.
Bert.
You know how I used to feel about him. Well, I don't anymore. I really don't. And you know how I used to resent it when he asked you out.
Yes, I know.
Well, I don't resent it anymore. Really, I don't. You do believe me, don't you?
Yes, I believe you.
Good. Because it's true. Well, I just stayed up to let you know how I felt.
Thank you.
Well, good night.
Good night.
He's really very nice, isn't he?
Who?
Burke.
Oh, yes, of course.
Good night, Vicky.
Who is it?
Miss Winters, it's Barnabas. Forgive me for calling at such a late hour,
I'm afraid Mrs. Stoddard has gone to bed.
but it was you who I wanted to see.
Me? Won't you please come in?
Thank you. I wanted to thank you
Thank me.
for coming to my party,
We all came to your party.
but I thought that you fulfilled the spirit of it more than anyone.
That's very kind of you.
I'm sorry that it wasn't a more delightful evening.
Please don't let it bother you.
Well, I apologize if I seemed perturbed.
I shouldn't have said that about seeing the little girl. It probably was just my imagination.
And I shouldn't have been so upset. But in spite of everything, I must confess that I don't believe in ghosts.
You don't?
Do you?
I don't know. I believe in a past, and I believe in a present. And I think that sometimes, at some very special moment, they become confused. They meet. And I think that perhaps tonight was one of those nights. Do you understand?
Oh, I do. I certainly do. And there were moments tonight, seeing you, that I could have sworn that Josette had come back. And not only in spirit.
I'm very flattered.
It's very true. And those moments made me feel that my evening was a success.
I'm very glad that I could make you feel that way.
And for that reason, I feel deeply grateful to you. And which is why I want you to have this.
Josette's music box.
Please take it.
No, I couldn't.
Oh, you must. As a gift of gratitude.
So lovely.
Listen. Please accept it.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
We are constantly searching our memories, searching into the past for moments that will reveal aspects of ourselves that have become clouded over by time and by our fears. And it is from the fragmented memory of a patient that a tale of horror and death will be pieced together.
Can't seem to remember anything.
Don't worry about that. It isn't necessary at this time to remember things specifically. Today I'd like you to concentrate on sense memories.
What do you mean?
Memories of the senses. Things we've touched or heard. Things we've tasted and liked or disliked. The cold, the heat. What I'd like to hear from you are impressions of these things today. Things that made you happy or sad. Things that pleased you or angered you.
Nothing seems to have pleased me or made me happy. Everything is sad and dreary and cold. Yes, just cold.
Try to describe this feeling of cold.
Everything around me is cold. Wait. I think I hear some music.
Tell me about the music.
There's some music.
Do you recognize the melody?
No. It's just a tinkling kind of music. Way off. Just a tinkling sound way off in the distance.
Vicky.
Good morning, Mrs. Stoddard.
I've been looking for you. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, thank you.
What's that?
This is the loveliest music box I've ever seen.
It's beautiful.
Listen to it. Have you ever heard a melody quite like that before?
No, I haven't. It seems in perfect condition, even though it is very old. The tone is so precise. Where'd it come from?
Barnabas Collins gave it to me.
Barnabas? When?
Last night.
Oh, I don't remember.
When he came by the house after you'd gone to bed, he was very upset about the seance and what I'd been through.
Oh, how very thoughtful of him.
I didn't want to take it, but he was so insistent. I'm going to treasure it always. I hope you don't mind my accepting it.
Well, why should I mind?
Because it's a Collins family heirloom.
Oh?
It belonged to Josette Collins.
It was Josette?
Yes. Mr. Collins found it and restored it to perfect condition.
I see. Of course, I don't mind your having it, and I'm glad it's giving you so much pleasure. It seems to me that suddenly you've been getting an awful lot of Josette Collins.
What do you mean?
Oh, just a feeling I have. You wore her dress to the party last night, and now this gift. And what bothers me the most is that she chose you to speak through last night at the seance.
Well, it's happened before.
I know, and it concerns me. I looked for you in your room. I wondered how you were feeling.
I'm feeling fine, thank you. No bad side effects from the seance, if that's what you mean.
We've had enough seances and calling back of the dead and searching for ghosts. It's very upsetting. But look what it's doing for you, for example. Last night you imagined you saw a little child on the stairs.
Yes, but that was my imagination. And I know why I thought I saw that little girl. You see, The day that Mr. Collins and I went through the trunk of old clothes to find the costumes, I came across a dress that had belonged to a little girl, the daughter of Naomi and Joshua Collins.
Oh, well, you must mean Sarah Collins.
Yes, that's who it was.
Well, Sarah Collins was the sister of the first Barnabas.
I suppose that's why it made an impression on me. And then with the excitement of the seance and the wine, well, when I looked up that staircase, I could have sworn I saw a little girl in that dress. But it was just my imagination, and that's all there is to it.
Vicky, you're a very sensitive and vulnerable girl because you have no connection with the past. Just be careful you don't imagine one that doesn't exist.
Tell me more about the music.
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, would you describe it as fast or slow?
It's not too slow.
Would you say it was modern music?
I think it's old.
Does the music suggest anything to you?
No.
Try to listen to it. Try to hear it more clearly.
Trying, but it's so vague. It's distant. It just echoes and echoes and echoes.
Can you tell what instrument is playing?
I don't know.
Would it be a piano?
No.
A violin, then?
No, it's just a tinkling kind of sound. It just tinkles.
Tinkling, like bells, perhaps?
Yes. Like bells. Bells that are ready to shatter.
Very delicate, fragile music.
So they break into tiny pieces.
Does the music mean anything to you?
No.
Does it make you happy?
No, it doesn't. It frightens me.
Why does it frighten you?
I keep hearing it. Keep hearing it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to think about it.
You have to think about it. You have to know why it upsets you, why it frightens you. It means something, Maggie, something very important.
Don't know. I don't know.
You must try to relax and tell me the things that come into your mind.
Something else.
What is it?
Something in the air. Like an aroma of some kind.
Do you like it?
Sweet. It's very sweet.
Sweet, like a flower?
I don't know. I don't know.
Does it please you?
No, I don't think it's a flower.
Why do you say that?
Because it's supposed to mean something else.
But what could it mean?
I don't know. There's something about it that I don't like. It frightens me.
Frightens you? What could it be? A sweet aroma that you're frightened of. It seems strange, doesn't it?
Something bad. Something bad.
Music and an aroma. And both experiences seem to be bad ones. They both seem to frighten you. You described a coldness that you felt.
Still feel it. It's all around me.
Close your eyes, Maggie. And try to recall the past. Now, do you see anything, Maggie? Tell me what you see.
I see shapes, forms.
What kind of forms?
Tall. Towering over me.
What place is this you're seeing, Maggie?
I don't know, but I see these forms all around me.
Tell me more about these forms.
I think they're white.
Can you reach out and touch one?
Yes. Yes, I can. It's cold. Hard. It's like stone. It's like stone. And there's writing on them.
Could it be a gravestone? Maggie, are you in a cemetery?
Cemetery? In a cemetery? I'm in a cemetery!
I could have carried it up here.
Oh, no, that's all right. I wanted to bring it up myself. I pressed out all the wrinkles so it's in perfect condition.
Well, you didn't have to do that.
I wanted to. I love this dress and I loved wearing it.
You did?
Mm-hmm. Anybody would. Where should I put it?
Well, just put it down anywhere.
I can't put it down anywhere. Where were you going to put it?
Back in the trunk, I guess.
Oh, no, it shouldn't go back in that old trunk.
No reason for it to be anywhere else.
But it should be here, in Josette's room.
Okay, you put it down somewhere and I'll hang it up later on.
All right. There. Looks so beautiful lying there. It looks like it's waiting for Josette to come in and put it on and wear it to some fine party somewhere.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Is Mr. Collins here?
No, he's not.
Oh, when will he be back?
Tonight sometime.
How's he feeling?
All right, I guess.
He was very upset from that party, you know.
Well, yeah, it bothered him for a while. He didn't say much. He kind of stayed by himself.
I was so stupid.
Well, what do you mean?
I shouldn't have said that about seeing the little girl. It upset him so much.
Yeah, it did.
Did he say why it upset him?
No, not a word.
It's all my fault. I ruined that party.
No, it's not your fault. Now, that's just the way Mr. Collins is. He's, kind of strange about that stuff. You know what I mean?
I think so. You know, he came to see me last night.
Last night?
Mm-hmm. After the party.
You mean he went up to Collinwood?
Yes. He was very apologetic. Oh, Willie, he gave me the most beautiful present I've ever been given.
What present did he give you?
Josette's music box.
The music box?
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I listened to it before I went to bed last night. And then this morning, I sat listening to it for hours and hours.
Well, you shouldn't do that.
Why?
Why? Well, it's an old music box. It might get worn. You might not be able to get it fixed.
Willie, I'll be careful. To think that she sat and played that music box right here in this room. She's become a very real person to me. Her perfume. Jasmine. I'm very glad that for one night I could wear her dress and in a sense be her. And now I've been given something that belonged to her. And I can sit and listen to it and maybe even have the same thoughts that she had.
Mr. Collins was saying we should have waited until tomorrow for the party.
Why?
Because tomorrow's Josette's birthday.
birthday.
Yeah. He was saying that it was on her birthday that she was given the music box.
And now it's been given to me. That makes me feel even closer to her. Well, Mrs. Stoddard, I was wondering if I could speak to you for a minute.
Of course.
I would like to have about an hour off tomorrow afternoon if I could.
Certainly.
Thank you. I have something very important to do.
Important?
I found out that tomorrow is Josette's birthday. She's been very important to this family, and I think it's high time somebody did something for her.
Such as what?
I'd like to put some flowers on her grave.
Well, you're not serious.
Yes, I really am.
Vicky, I wish you wouldn't.
Why? I don't think anybody's put any flowers on her grave in generations. You were right that I have nothing to cling to, no past and no family. Well, Josette's become very important to me.
Vicky, I can't ask you not to go, but I wish you'd reconsider. I see you drawing farther and farther away from reality.
Mrs. Stoddard, I can assure you I'm not doing that.
I don't want you walking around that cemetery alone.
Well, then I won't go alone. I'll ask someone to go with me. I'll ask Burke.
I wish you'd change your mind.
No. I must go there. I have to put flowers on Josette's grave.
Feel better? Good. You've made tremendous progress today. You've remembered many things.
Have I?
Yes. You've remembered coldness. You've remembered a melody, a fragrance. All these things are very important. But more important, you remembered a place, a specific place.
Cemetery. Why would I remember a cemetery?
You were found wandering in a cemetery once.
I don't know. I don't remember.
You were found in the cemetery at the beginning of your illness. Something must have happened there.
I don't know what happened. I can still see the image of those graves.
What's the matter?
I feel frightened.
But you shouldn't. You should feel encouraged. The fact that this frightens you indicates a possibility of the return of your memory. We must do everything and anything we can to hurry the day that you can remember the story of the real Maggie Evans. You want that day to happen, don't you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I think there might be a way to help us to that day.
What do you mean?
What if you were to see that cemetery again?
See it?
Yes, what if you were to go there?
I don't know.
It'd be a big and important step. It would make things happen faster.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to go to the cemetery.
Can't you see that your very fear of it is the reason that you must face it?
Want to face it. I don't want to go there.
Even if it would help you?
Please. Please don't take me there. Don't take me there. Please. Please.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
Hidden deep in the cliffs of Collinwood, the majestic ancient rocks that separate the earth from the sea, there is a tiny cove, carved by a long-ago sea. No one at Collinwood has seen it, and no one will ever see it, for the earth knows how to hide its secrets well. Sometimes men, too, must hide secrets, even wage desperate battles in secret, if keeping that secret can mean the difference between death and survival. Unknown to the residents of Collinwood, such a battle is being waged, far from its walls. And the cause of that battle, the object of the desperate secrecy, is a girl, long supposed dead, but actually living, and still in great danger.
What are you implying?
I'm not implying anything.
It certainly seems that you are. It seems that you're implying that I'm not handling this case properly.
I didn't say that, and I didn't mean to imply it.
Then why did you drive all the way up here? What is the purpose of this visit?
I haven't heard from you for days. I was beginning to get worried about Maggie. And Sam's after me every minute wanting to know something, and I have nothing to tell him.
I would have contacted you if there were anything new to report. There isn't.
I telephoned you at least half a dozen times. Why at least didn't you answer any of my calls?
I've already answered that question. There was nothing new to report.
You know, sometimes I get the distinct impression that you're avoiding me.
Avoiding you? Why would I be avoiding you?
I don't know. Somehow I get the feeling that you want to keep everything you learn about Maggie Evans strictly to yourself for some reason that I cannot understand. And it disturbs me. No, more than that. It frightens me.
What are you saying now? Are you accusing me of malpractice?
Oh, of course not.
It seems to me you are.
Look, I am the last person in the world to question your competence.
Then why did you say that the way I'm handling this case frightens you?
Well, that was an overstatement. All I mean is that somehow you've become too possessive about this case, and too secretive by far.
I am possessive about every patient because I am in charge of treatment. And I believe, and I will continue to believe, that what is said between a doctor and a patient should remain confidential.
Of course, I understand that. But I've got Sam and Joe Haskell after me every minute, asking me all about Maggie, all the details. I have nothing to tell them. Besides that, it's getting more and more difficult for them to keep Maggie's existence a secret. The strain's beginning to tell on them.
Then if they're not satisfied with me, I suggest you find another doctor for Maggie.
Wait a minute.
I mean it. Either you have confidence in me or you don't.
I have all the confidence in the world in you.
Then I suggest you remember that in the future, Doctor.
You cut out that doctor stuff. Look, we may have disagreements, Julia, but at least we're on a first-name basis.
As long as you don't harass me.
Well, I didn't intend to harass you. I apologize. You accept my apology?
Certainly.
Well, How is Maggie? Is there any improvement?
None.
I was afraid that's what you'd say.
It's getting to be a little discouraging. I wonder if she returned to a place where she was during the time she was missing, if the shock of recognition might jog her memory.
But we don't know where she was.
We know one place. You told me that she was found wandering in a cemetery. I believe it was called the Eagle Hill Cemetery.
Well, you're not thinking of taking her there.
I'm thinking of anything that will help us get to the truth.
Julia, it is out of the question. Now, to begin with, Eagle Hill Cemetery is right outside of Collinsport. Somebody's liable to spot Maggie. But more important than that, subjecting her to an experience like that might very well drive Maggie to, well, to the point of no return.
I realize there are risks involved.
Risks? You are playing around with a girl's mind. You can't take risks like that.
I didn't say I was going to do it.
Even the suggestion of it alarms me. Julia, there's something that you've got to face. Your scientific detachment is admirable in itself, but it cannot become so important to you that you forget you're dealing with human beings.
Is this going to be another lecture?
No, no, no. All I'm trying to tell you is that you have no right to subject Maggie to an experience that might affect her sanity permanently.
I just finished telling you I wasn't going to do it.
Then you forget about this business of the cemetery.
Yes.
And you won't do anything drastic without at least first consulting me.
Yes, is that all?
I guess so.
Well, then I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave. I have some patients waiting for me.
All right. But now we are going to keep in touch.
Yes.
I apologize for having broken in on you this way.
I accept your apology. Goodbye, Dave.
Bye, Julia.
Send Maggie Evans in. Hello, Maggie.
Hello.
That'll be all, Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson said you were taking me on a trip.
Yes, that's right.
Where are we going?
There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing at all. Come along.
Hi, Vicky.
Burke, this is a surprise.
Well, I decided to knock off early today and take a nice long ride in the country. Care to join me? We could head up toward Bangor and maybe have dinner there.
I'd love that.
Good. Do you good to get out of Collinwood for a while. Come on, let's go.
Oh, Burke.
What?
Well, there is one thing that I wanted to do today. We could do it together and it won't take long.
What is it?
You'll probably think it sounds silly.
What?
Well, I'd like to buy some flowers and I'd put them on the grave of a friend who meant a great deal to me.
Of course.
It's her birthday today. I'd like her to know that she's not forgotten.
Do you know where she's buried?
Yes, up on Eagle Hill.
That's funny. Sam told me she was buried way up north of here.
Sam?
Sam Evans. You're talking about visiting the grave of Maggie, aren't you?
No. I'm talking about visiting the grave of Josette Collins.
Josette Collins?
I knew you'd think it was silly.
Vicky, Josette Collins lived over 100 years before you were born.
I know. But I feel very close to her. Burke, don't you remember how she helped me when I was in danger?
Or you imagined she did. When you were frightened out of your mind.
I saw her. I know I did.
All right, Vicky, I'm not going to argue with you, but I do think you ought to forget about it.
How can I forget about her when I feel so close to her?
Only because you wore her dress at Barnabas's party the other night. The more I think about that party, the more I think it had a bad effect on everybody.
I felt close to her long before that party. There was a time, Burke, when I even thought she was one of my ancestors.
But that would make you a Collins. I can't believe that.
Come inside. There's something I'd like you to see.
What?
This. It was her music box.
Where did you get it?
Barnabas Collins gave it to me.
Collins?
It was a sort of a thank you present for helping him with the party. I didn't do anything to deserve it, but I'm delighted to have it. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice.
Listen to it.
Very pretty.
Sometimes when I'm listening to it, I feel as though she's very nearby. Very near to me. Why did you do that?
Because I don't like to hear you talk like that.
I don't understand you.
Vicky, you're a sensible, intelligent girl. And you were just talking as if you really believe in the Collins spooks.
Don't call her that.
This house is really getting to you, isn't it? All of a sudden you're talking like all those old legends and fairy tales about Collinwood are really true. And that's not right.
Well, I can't help it if I feel close to her. Maybe it's wrong, but I can't help it.
Vicky, being attracted to a legend is one thing. But it's another thing when you treat it as fact. Now, I don't think we ought to visit the grave of Josette Collins.
Why not?
Because it will only encourage you to think about her more, maybe to believe in her more. And you shouldn't. It's not good for you.
Then you won't take me?
No. No, it's not a good idea.
Well, I guess I'm just going to have to go by myself.
It means that much to you, huh?
Right or wrong, Burke, it's her birthday, and somebody should do something to remember it. I want to put those flowers on her grave. It's something I feel I must do.
Okay. Okay, if you're that determined.
You'll take me?
Yeah. Yeah, but only for a moment. Afterwards, we're going to go for a nice long drive. And then we're going to have a nice dinner. Is that a deal?
It's a deal. I'll be ready in a minute.
Right.
Why did you bring me here?
I've told you there's nothing to be afraid of.
Please,
Now,
let's not stay here.
Now try to calm down. Everything will be all right.
I just want to go.
No, we'll just stay here for a moment.
Why do we have to stay at all?
Because I want you to look around and I want you to see if you recognize anything.
I don't remember anything.
Look around. Try to remember.
I can't. I don't even want to remember.
For your own sake, you've got to try to remember.
I can't.
See that clump of trees over there? Have you ever seen them before? Do you recognize them?
No.
And these graves. Look at these graves.
Graves?
Yes. Do they mean something to you?
No.
Don't you remember anything?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You've been here before.
No.
Yes. Yes, you were found wandering right in this graveyard. Don't you remember?
No.
Try to remember. Look around once more.
I don't want to look around.
Look around once more, and then we'll leave.
We'll leave?
Yes, but you must look around once more.
All right.
What is that grave? Does that grave mean something to you? Do you recognize that grave?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I still think this is a bad idea.
It'll only take a minute.
I thought I heard voices.
Some people are coming. We can't let them see you. We better go.
Do you see her grave?
No.
Neither do I. Mrs. Stoddard said that it was by a clump of elm trees. Oh, that might be it over there.
Where?
Over there, where those two women are standing.
Come with me, Maggie. Now come.
I still don't see it, do you?
No.
Here it is.
That's a pitiful sort of a grave for one of the mighty Collinses.
Jeremiah Collins buried her there out of revenge. He felt that she deserted him when she killed herself.
What a petty revenge.
It makes me so sad. This grave is so lonely and desolate. Except for those two women over there, the whole graveyard is deserted.
What is it?
I heard voices.
Oh, don't look back. No, let's go.
Vicky, what is it?
I saw
What's the matter? You're as white as a sheet.
those women over there.
What about them?
One of them just turned around, and for a second I saw her face.
What about it?
It was Maggie. I saw her distinctly. It was Maggie Evans.
Vicky, look at me. You couldn't have seen Maggie. Maggie is dead.
I know,
Well, that's why you couldn't have seen her. It was your imagination.
but she looked just like Maggie.
There was a resemblance.
No, I saw her face distinctly. It was Maggie. I'm sure I saw her.
Just like you were sure you saw the little girl at Barnabas's party the other night. But it was an imagination. You admitted that later.
Yes.
Well, that's what this is. You imagined you saw something you really didn't see.
I guess so. Burke, what's the matter with me?
You've been under a lot of strain. First the shock of Maggie's death, and then the seance the other night.
But I'm scared. Why do I keep imagining these things?
Because you have a vivid imagination. But you mustn't let it run away with you. Being in this graveyard doesn't help matters either. Come on, let's get out of here.
All right.
We'll wait here a moment.
Why did you bring me here?
So we wouldn't be seen. We'll leave in a moment. Maggie, what is it? You look frightened. What's frightening you? Is it this place? Have you been here before? Do you know this place? Maggie, you have. I can tell by your reaction that you know this place. What is this place? When were you here?
I've got to get out.
Maggie, tell me about this place. When were you here?
I've got to get out.
Now,
Get out.
tell me, what is this place, Maggie?
Please don't make me stay here.
All right, we'll leave in a moment. I just want to look around.
We'll go?
We'll go. But let me look around for a moment first, all right?
All right.
Does the name Collins mean anything to you?
No.
Seems to be a tomb of a family named Collins. Don't you recognize the name?
No.
This one's named Sarah. The same as your friend who you played with.
Sarah?
It's possibly an ancestor of hers.
You said we could go. Why don't we go?
Maggie, look at me.
Why?
Because I want you to look around and I want you to try to remember when you were in this place before.
I can't. I've got to get out of here.
Maggie, why are you so frightened?
I can't stay here.
Why not?
Because he'll kill me.
Who's he?
I'll die.
Who are you talking about, Maggie?
I'll die.
No, Maggie, you're with me. You're safe with me, Maggie. Maggie, can you hear me? You're safe, Maggie. All right, Maggie, we'll go now. We will go. We're going, Maggie. We're going.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
Under the sun over Collinwood, the days seemed trapped beneath its throbbing, unrelenting eye. No storm is promised, and the air itself is as still as the breathing of the dead. And yet one leaf will stir, one bough will lightly bend, and one knows that the stillness will sometime end, perhaps with a gentle rain, perhaps with a thundering storm.
Who is Sarah Collins? Who is Sarah Collins? Can you tell me?
Sarah Collins.
You have a friend who gave you her doll to play with.
Yes, she's my friend.
What is your friend's name?
Sarah. Her name is Sarah.
But what is her last name? Does she have a last name? Is her name Sarah Collins? Yesterday you were very frightened. We were in the cemetery.
The cemetery?
Yes. And we had to hide.
Yes. I must hide.
The place that we hid frightened you most of all.
Hide there? Not there.
Why not there?
Not there. Please, not there.
But didn't you feel your friend Sarah was there? Didn't you feel your friend Sarah was near?
No. No friend was there.
Was there someone there who would hurt you?
No. Don't hurt me.
What was the name of the person there who would hurt you? I am going to say a name. Now listen carefully. The name is Collins.
No. No. No!
I'm in no mood to do you any more favors. You never have brought Maggie down here, and you certainly shouldn't have taken her near that cemetery.
As usual, I disagree.
Don't you realize that every minute that she's here, even in this house, she's in terrible danger?
Fortunately, this place is outside of town. No one has seen her.
But suppose someone had Julia. Our whole plan would have gone right out the window.
I know, which should indicate how important I thought it was to bring Maggie here.
Oh.
Now, how about my request?
You want me to introduce you to the Collins family as some sort of a family historian?
Yes, something of a genealogist.
Well, why can't I introduce you as Dr. Julia Hoffman?
I have my reasons.
Look, I know the Collins family. If they knew that you were trying to help Maggie...
You know as well as I do that they mustn't even know that Maggie is still alive.
All right, but listen, if they realized that you were trying to track down the maniac who did this to Maggie, they'd cooperate completely.
No one must know that I have anything to do with the case. It's the only way I can work.
You suspect one of them, don't you?
Why do you keep asking me questions that you know I can't answer?
Well, won't you at least tell me what happened at the cemetery yesterday?
I'd prefer not to.
Look, did Maggie lead you to something that you think implicates the Collins family?
Implicates is the wrong word. Maggie merely pointed in a direction, which I am now going to follow.
All right, Julia, I give up. Yes, of course, I'll do what you ask. If for no other reason than to get to the bottom of all this.
Thank you. I had the feeling you would.
But you're going to have to let me ask you one more question.
What is it?
Now listen. Yesterday, you went to that cemetery. Today, you want to explore the Collins family history.
Yes.
Well, now that leads me to wonder about one thing.
What's that?
Julia, we both know that Maggie's case is far from the ordinary. Exactly how far from the ordinary is it?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, come on, Julia. We've both at different times used the term unearthly in our speculations.
That's right.
Have you reached a point where you're using that term no longer as a speculation, but as a conviction?
Do you mind if I don't answer?
Yes, I do mind.
Then I'll say this. The term unearthly was incorrect to begin with.
How do you mean?
Well, nothing that happens on Earth can be termed unearthly. Our mistake is thinking that there are limits as to what can take place on this planet.
But there are limits to what a rational man can accept.
I know. And I would say that in this case, those limits have to be extended considerably.
I hope that Dr. Woodard told you Mrs. Stoddard won't be able to see you today. She's very busy.
Yes, but I've heard so much about Collinwood, I thought I had to come and see it anyway. I hope I'm not intruding.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, when Dr. Woodard told me that he had a friend who was interested in doing research in the old families of New England, I couldn't wait to meet you.
Oh, you have a similar interest?
Well, not really. Mine is limited to the Collins family.
Oh?
You see, I've become a bit of a nut on the subject.
Oh, well, then perhaps you're the one I should talk to.
Oh, no. I'm much too much of an amateur. You really should talk to Mrs. Stoddard. Or better still, you should talk to Barnabas Collins.
Barnabas? Oh, yes, Dr. Woodard told me. Mrs. Stoddard's cousin.
Yes, he's from England. And he knows everything there is to know about the family history, especially about the past.
Miss Winters, I'm back on time like I promised. See?
I see. David, I'd like you to meet Miss Hoffman.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Miss Hoffman is going to be doing some research on the Collins family history.
No kidding. You mean our ancestors and all that?
It's starting with way back when they first came to America, right up to the present.
Can I help? The study's filled with books. And so's the house. It's filled with All sorts of portraits.
David, if Miss Hoffman needs any help, I think she'll ask for it. But I think you should go up and see if you can do any better on that geography, considering the trouble you had this morning.
I think I'll have the same amount of trouble this afternoon.
Well, you better not. I give you that extra playtime hoping it would help.
Oh, I know, but I didn't have much fun. That's probably why I'm home on time. I was sort of hoping I could see Sarah.
Maybe you will next time. Now, why don't you run upstairs, and I'll be up in a minute.
Sarah Collins?
Oh, no. She's just a little girl from somewhere in the neighborhood.
I wish I knew her last name. Then I could find her and invite her over.
You don't know her last name?
No. You know, sometimes I don't even think she knows it.
What do you mean?
She acts sort of funny. I think she's sort of dumb.
David, anyone who did what you did in geography this morning shouldn't call anyone else dumb. Now, upstairs.
If you see Sarah, will you find out her last name?
I will. It's sad, isn't it? He has almost no one to play with. At times, I think he even imagines these friends of his.
You think perhaps Sarah isn't real?
I don't know. I hope she is real for David's sake. Well, what were we talking about?
Oh, Barnabas Collins, Mrs. Stoddard's cousin.
Oh, yes. Well, now, he really is the one that you should talk to.
Oh, I'd like to very much.
You know, he used to be very shy. He almost never came over to the house at all. But now he seems to be much more willing to have people around him. Why, he even gave a party at the old house.
The old house?
That's where he lives. You see, it was the original Collins family mansion. And he's had it completely restored to the way it used to be.
I'd love to see it. And I'd love to meet Mr. Collins. May I phone him?
No, I don't think you can do that.
Oh?
You see, he is so insistent on having the house exactly the way it used to be that he won't even have a phone installed.
Isn't that rather eccentric?
I suppose it is. But frankly, I like it that way. Going there is like going into the past.
You sound as though you share his affection for days gone by.
I suppose maybe I do.
Now you sound as though that were something to apologize for.
Well, it's not good to get too caught up in the past.
I could take that as a criticism of me.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way at all. It's just that lately I've had a tendency to be too concerned with the past.
It seems Mr. Collins and his house is even more concerned.
Somehow it seems all right.
But not for you.
No, I don't think so. But there is one room in that house that I wouldn't mind living in forever.
Oh?
It's the room that belonged to Josette Collins.
Josette.
She was the wife of Jeremiah Collins, one of the founders of the Collins family fortune.
Oh, I'd like very much to see the room. And to meet Mr. Collins. Would it be convenient to go this afternoon?
Well, I'm not sure. You see, he doesn't exactly welcome strangers.
But if you came with me...
Well, seeing as you are so interested in the family history, maybe he might be a little more friendly.
Friendly? You make him sound forbidding.
Oh, no, he's not that at all. As a matter of fact, he's the gentlest, kindest man I know. It's just that he values his privacy. But we all try and respect that.
But when you explain that I share his interest in things past...
I have a feeling that you two are going to get along very well.
I hope so.
This was her room.
Oh, you're right. It is like going into a whole different world.
I wish that Mr. Collins were here to show it to you himself.
Who was that fellow who didn't want to let us in?
That was Willie Loomis. Don't pay any attention to him.
He's not very easy to ignore.
Well, it's just that Mr. Collins, as a rule, doesn't like to have visitors.
Oh, and that's Josette.
Yes. Isn't she beautiful?
Yes, lovely.
I wore one of her dresses to the party that Mr. Collins had.
You wore a dress of hers?
Mm-hmm. We all wore clothes of the period. It was his way of celebrating the restoration of the house.
Oh, it sounds very festive.
Look, the dress, it's still there.
It's lovely. What was that?
What?
You didn't feel anything?
No.
I don't know. A sudden chill.
I didn't feel anything.
It was probably nothing.
Well, the sun's gone down, but I don't see that would have anything to do with it.
It was probably only my imagination.
You still feel it?
No, it was only a moment, if it happened at all.
Well, it's getting late. Perhaps we should go.
Oh? I can't see the rest of the house?
Well, I'd rather that Mr. Collins showed it to you himself.
Oh?
Well, I felt that I could show you this room because, well...
Go on.
Well, it's just that it's rather hard to explain.
Well, don't if you'd rather not.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just difficult to put into words.
Oh. Well, perhaps because Mr. Collins let you wear Josette's dress, you feel proprietary about Josette in this room.
Maybe that's it. Anyway, he knows how much I love it. And he appreciates that fact. I think I'd better remind Willie to put away that dress.
Oh. It almost looks as though it were laying out there waiting for Josette to put it on.
Doesn't it?
Well, the sun has gone down. It's gotten quite dark.
I'll light a candle.
Oh, no, don't. I really should go, and I really don't think Mr. Collins would like our making ourselves at home.
Please. I'd like you to see this room by candlelight. How many times Josette must have seen this room in the same light.
What happened?
Candle went out, that's all.
The chill, I felt it again.
You did?
I think we'd better go.
But there's nothing to be afraid of, nothing at all.
Well, it's not that. Believe me, if you knew me at all, you'd know I'm afraid of nothing.
But you will come back and see the house again when Mr. Collins is here, won't you?
Oh, yes. I can't tell you how much I look forward to it.
I'm sorry you didn't get to see either Mrs. Stoddard or Mr. Collins. Your trip could hardly have seemed worthwhile.
Oh, it wasn't entirely without interest.
In what way?
Oh, just in general.
I had a feeling you'd give me that sort of answer.
I really have nothing else to report.
Julia, there's something that I have to make you aware of.
What's that?
If you have any suspicion of anyone in particular...
Suspicion of what?
Oh, well, now you know of what. If you have any idea who our maniac was, or is, we're obligated to make it known to the authorities.
And have them interfere?
No, not interfere, but be on the alert. We don't want what happened to Maggie happen to anybody else.
Of course we don't.
Well, then you've got to tell me. Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Oh, I have no suspicions whatsoever.
You're sure about that?
Positive. Well, now, before I take Maggie back to Wyncliffe, I'd like to have a moment with her here, alone, please.
All right. You know, we took an awful chance bringing her down here in the first place.
We have to take chances or we don't get anything done.
Maggie, come in.
Come in, Maggie. Sit down here.
I'll be in the outer office if you need me for anything.
Thank you very much for everything. Now, Maggie, we're going to play one of our games. Now, let me hold your doll.
No.
No, let me hold it. I'll just...
No.
We want to find out what the doll's name is. The doll doesn't have a name, does it? All right, we're going to find out. Now listen to me. I want you to listen very carefully, and I want you to look at the doll very carefully, and maybe you'll hear its name.
Doll talk?
If you listen very carefully and look very carefully, you'll find out. Are you listening?
Yes.
My name is Elizabeth Collins Stoddard.
Elizabeth?
That doesn't mean anything to you.
No.
All right, we'll try again. My name is Sarah Collins.
Sarah's my friend. She gave me the doll.
And that's all she means to you.
She's my friend.
All right, we'll try again. Now, let's see. My name is Carolyn Stoddard.
Carolyn?
That doesn't mean anything to you?
Carolyn?
All right, we'll keep on trying. Now, let's keep on trying. Are you listening?
Yes.
My name is Barnabas Collins.
No. Please, not that name. No.
All right, Maggie, it's all right. It's not the right name. It's not the right name, Maggie.
Don't hurt me.
Oh, nobody's gonna hurt you, Maggie. It's the wrong name. Here, take your doll. It's the wrong name. It's the wrong name.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling.
The wrong name for the doll. But the right name for something else.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.
Today, the sea beyond the cliffs of Collinwood is calm and motionless. What waves there are curl onto the beach with an almost tender touch. But the sea is never still. The unseen moon beckons the massive watery wastes, and almost against its will, the sea is drawn from the shore in tidal obedience to a distant force. And so sometimes it is with us. What force has beckoned, we do not know. But motionless and still, we move in answer to something unseen, not knowing whether we are being drawn from or toward some final shore.
Vicky? Are you in there? Vicky?
Oh, come in.
Is anything the matter?
No. Why?
Well, I knocked and you didn't even hear me.
I didn't?
Are you sure you're all right?
Yes, of course. I was just sitting here thinking.
You must have been doing some pretty deep thinking.
I was thinking about Maggie.
Maggie?
I thought I saw her the other day.
Saw her? But Vicky, Maggie is dead.
I know.
What do you mean you saw Maggie?
Well, it was like when you see something out of the corner of your eye and then you look and it's not really there. And that's how it was when I was in the cemetery.
In the cemetery?
Yes. I went there the other day.
But why?
I know you're going to think this sounds very silly, but it was Josette's birthday.
Josette's birthday?
You probably think I'm very sentimental, but I wanted to buy some flowers and put them on her grave.
I think there's more to it than just sentimentality.
What?
Well, if I didn't know you better, Vicky, I'd say you were still under the influence of that party the other night.
Well, I have to admit that I enjoyed going with Josette.
No, I don't think that's what got you most.
What then?
That seance. We really never should have done that. My mother's right. There's some things we just shouldn't fool around with.
She spoke through me, didn't she?
Vicky, I think you should forget all about it.
Well, it's not that important.
Well, that's what I thought at the time, but look at the effect it's having on you.
Look, I'm just feeling a little bit quiet, that's all. It's probably just the weather.
Was it the weather that made you think you saw Maggie Evans?
No. But then I didn't really see her.
But you thought you did.
Look, you're making an awful lot out of nothing.
And was it the weather that made you think you saw a little girl on the top of the stairs the night of the party?
I thought we agreed that that was just an effect of the seance.
Vicky, all I'm saying is that the effect hasn't really worn off yet.
But I'm all right. Really, I am.
Well, Burke has been waiting downstairs for almost half an hour.
Burke? But I didn't know that.
Burke has taken you out on this particular night for the past 2 months.
I completely forgot.
Well, he's waiting.
But I'm not so sure that I want to go out tonight.
Where did you get this?
Don't you recognize it?
Yes, it was in Josette's room in the old house.
Mm-hmm. Barnabas gave it to me after the party.
Barnabas gave it to you?
Is that so strange?
No, I guess not.
I was listening to it when you came in. Do you want to hear it? Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. Vicky, do you mean you were just sitting here listening to that?
What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know. It just isn't like you.
I could go on listening to it forever.
Well, you better make it some other time because Burke is still waiting.
Oh, yes. Well, look, you tell him that I'll be downstairs in 10 seconds.
All right, but you stop listening to that or it'll be 10 hours.
Maybe you're right.
I'm glad we've met, Devlin. I wanted to thank you again for coming to my party.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Well, I have to admit that it was a most unusual evening.
Barnabas, I didn't know you were here.
I was hoping to see Miss Winters.
Oh, Vicky said she'll be down in just a few minutes, Bert.
What did she do? Forget what night this is?
No, she just was a little busy, that's all.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Well, that all depends. Vicky and I have a date.
Of course. I only wanted to see her for a moment. I have something for her.
Is that it?
Yes. Would you like to see it?
Oh, it's very handsome.
And very old and very rare.
And you're giving it to Vicky?
Well, she does seem to share my appreciation for things from the past.
Yes. Yes, I know.
But when I mentioned my library the other day, she seemed so interested that, well, I thought I'd give her this one little volume.
Barnabas, I probably have no right to say this, but...
What is it?
Well, do you think it's such a good idea to be so involved in the past?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
I do. Carolyn probably feels that Vicky is letting herself get too involved with the past. And I agree.
But surely it's a harmless pastime.
Yes, up to a point.
And I imagine that Miss Winters has not reached that point.
I'm not so sure.
But I really can't take you seriously.
Barnabas, do you know where Vicky went the other day?
Why, no.
I do. Because
Where?
I went with her.
But where?
To the cemetery. She insisted on putting flowers on Josette's grave.
She did.
Now, that's a little bit too far out.
Seems to me a very thoughtful and lovely thing to do.
That's not the way I see it. After all, what is Josette to Vicky anyway?
Well, the relationship seems a very natural one.
You mean the seance?
Well,
Yes. And that was probably our first mistake, that seance.
perhaps.
No. No, I'll tell you what our first mistake was. It was wearing those costumes.
Well, now, there I disagree.
Look, I really don't think this is something we should argue about, but... Well, do you think it's a good idea to encourage Vicky in acting this way?
Well, I doubt if it's as excessive as you two seem to think it is.
Oh, isn't it? Well, let me tell you one more thing. Vicky is beginning to see things, people. The other night at your party, she saw that little girl. And at the cemetery, she thought she saw Maggie Evans.
Maggie Evans?
That's right.
That's impossible.
We agree.
But Maggie Evans is dead.
Now you see what I'm trying to tell you.
And you were with her when this happened?
Yes, against my better judgment.
And you saw something?
Of course I didn't see anything. There was nothing to see. That's what I'm trying to say.
Of course, you saw nothing. There was nothing to see.
But Barnabas, doesn't it prove that Vicky's getting sort of carried away?
Possibly. She certainly couldn't have seen Maggie Evans. Any more than she could have seen that little girl on the stairs.
But are you going to leave right away?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Did you see Mrs. Stoddard?
Well, no.
I think she's in the study.
Actually, Barnabas didn't come to see Mrs. Stoddard.
Oh?
I came to see you.
Oh, about Miss Hoffman.
Is she the woman who came to the house with you yesterday?
Yes. Did Willie tell you why she was there?
No, we didn't discuss it.
Well, she's doing a history of the famous New England families, and she wanted to do some research into the Collins family. So I told her that you were the one she should talk to.
So she's interested in the Collins family?
Yes. Well, I thought you'd be very excited by the idea. I know I am. I hope I can help her.
Well, I'm not sure I'm too enthusiastic about the idea.
But I was so sure you'd love it.
Well, I've always preferred to keep the family history within the family itself.
But it's too exciting. You have to share it.
I do, but only with people I know who have an appreciation for it.
Well, I'm sure that Miss Hoffman would.
Well, perhaps. But it's nothing that has to be settled right away, so if you'll excuse me.
Of course. But promise me one thing. That you'll at least think about letting Miss Hoffman do her research.
I will. Well, I must be going. The storm is coming.
Good night.
Oh, is that one of the books that you were talking about from your library?
Yes, but
May I see it?
It's really of very little interest.
How can you say that? You know I'd be very interested.
Well, then you must come and see the entire collection sometime.
Well, can't I at least look at this one? Please.
Well, I suppose so.
Just by touching it, I can tell that it's very, very old. It's like holding a piece of history in my hand. I don't understand.
What is it?
It's inscribed to me. From you.
Yes.
And you were going to leave without even letting me see it?
Well, I guess I may as well confess.
What are you talking about?
I didn't want Barnabas to give you the book.
What?
I'm sorry if I've created a somewhat clumsy situation.
Why didn't you want him to give me this book?
Mr. Devlin felt that you've become too enamored of the past as it is.
But a book! I don't understand you, Burke. What is this all about?
Okay, so I went a little overboard. But I just think you ought to get off this history kick for a while.
Do you mean that you actually told Mr. Collins that he could not give me this book?
I'm sorry, but I really must excuse myself. I really shouldn't have intruded to start with.
That's not true at all. It was very thoughtful of you to bring me this book, and I thank you.
You're very welcome. Good night.
Ready to go? I need a drink.
I'm not sure that I want to go out tonight.
Oh, come on, Vicky. You're not that sore at me.
No, I'm not sore at you. I just like to stay at home, that's all.
Sorry. What you need is a good time. Good and loud, and I'm going to give it to you.
No! Burke, please!
Vicky, what's the matter with you?
Nothing.
I suppose you'd rather curl up with that ridiculous book.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Plenty.
You sound as though I'm going to be swallowed up by the past.
Vicky, let's go. The storm is about to start.
Look, please, don't be angry, but I'd like to stay at home tonight.
But I will be angry. As a matter of fact, I'm angry right now.
Well, we can go out some other time soon.
I can't change your mind?
No. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Who is it?
Oh, Mr. Collins, it's Vicky Winters.
Miss Winters, come in.
I can't stay long. The storm is about to break, but I wanted to talk to you.
Well, what is it?
I want to apologize.
But what for?
We all behaved so badly.
Of course not.
Oh, yes, we did. Carolyn and Burke, and I did, too.
But everyone was most polite.
Oh, yes, most polite. Criticizing you up and down for giving me that lovely book.
Well, perhaps because they don't understand our appreciation for things gone before.
I wasn't very polite either.
Now, there I disagree completely.
I never really thanked you.
Your acceptance is thanks enough.
I loved having it. I just want you to know that.
You're very kind.
Then you do forgive us. All of us.
Of course, if there's anything to forgive.
Well, I'd better be getting back, but I hope we can talk soon.
I hope I can persuade you to stay just for a moment.
I don't want to take the chance. But I hope you'll let Miss Hoffman do her research.
We'll see.
And I hope she'll let me help her.
Does the Collins history mean that much to you?
Isn't that obvious? Good night.
But I believe the storm has already started.
Well, then I'd better hurry.
Oh, you can't go out in that.
But I have to.
If you wait until it let up just a little bit.
I'm so sure that I'd have time to get here and make it back to the house.
Perhaps it'll blow over soon.
I don't think so. It doesn't look like that kind of a storm.
Well, going out in it now is impossible.
But I have to get back.
Well, I can always tell Willie to tell him not that you're quite all right.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary. Nobody should go out on a night like this.
Well, I'm sure that he's capable of going across in the storm.
It's all right. No one will miss me. I don't know how I could have been so stupid. I saw that storm coming. Well, I guess I'm going to have to stay here. I'm very sorry.
Please forgive me if I'm delighted.
You're very kind.
Have you ever been in this house before in a storm?
Well, I've never been in a storm like this.
This house was built for storms.
What do you mean?
This room is never lovelier than when it's lit by lightning. Look. And the thunder echoing down the corridors.
I see.
It was for storms like this that this house was built.
I think I know what you mean.
Do you?
Yes. What am I going to do if it doesn't stop?
You'll wait here.
I don't think you understand. I'm afraid this storm is going to last for the whole night.
Well, if my company wearies you, you can always rest a while. Don't forget, Josette's room is ready at all times.
Yes, of course. Josette's room.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.